Coming up on Inside the Summit League, South Dakota State showing off some serious skill in women's soccer. The Jackrabbits still one of two unbeaten teams so far in league play. Athletes who are definitely students at Western Illinois. How three Leathernecks manage the stress and the study in a very demanding academic program. And we have an inside look at the men's basketball program at Western Illinois and a progress report on the Jackrabbits at South Dakota State. Hello, how are you? Welcome to Inside the Summit League. Cruising right along in the fall sports seasons. Women's soccer will hit the halfway point of the Summit League season this weekend, and two women's teams have won their first three league matches so far. That is Denver and South Dakota State, the defending Summit League tournament champions. The Jackrabbits got by Western Illinois on Friday night with 2 goals in the second half. Both keepers were keeping it clean. Maggie Smither for South Dakota State and Jennifer Curry for Western Illinois, and this match was 0-0 until the 68th minute. Nicole Hatcher breaks the seal, powering through defenders, knocking that home for her third goal of the season, and the Jackrabbits get on the board. And then Darian Polstra gets her first goal of the year. Later in the match, South Dakota State beats Western Illinois 2-0.
We knew they were going to be a tough team, that they were going to kind of put a lot of numbers behind the ball and make it difficult for us, and they did a good job for a good portion of the game. And I was proud of our ladies for really battling and grinding it out, and we knew that a lot of Summit League games are going to be like that, and that they were able to find a way to get a couple goals and win the game.
Well, same outcome, just a little different way of getting it done on a Sunday against Oral Roberts for South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits with 3 first-half goals in this one. Nicole Hatcher again with a little chip from straight away, and the Jacks in the lead just over 4 minutes into the match. Hatcher then with assist on the next 2 goals, this one by Shelby Raper to make it 2-0 South Dakota State. And then Hatcher with the shoulder assist to Tori Poole, and the Jacks lead 3-0 at halftime. Poole scores again in the second half. South Dakota State beats Oral Roberts 5-1.
It was a really great start, one of the best that I can ever remember, scoring 3 goals in the first 13 minutes, and probably could have had a couple more if their goalkeeper hadn't made some big saves. So I was really proud of how we started the game and the fire and the energy that we had, and it's always a tough thing on Sunday to kind of pull that out of them in the second game of the week, but they really stepped up well. Certainly anytime you can start this way is a positive, but we know that we're not done yet. We haven't really accomplished our goals. We've got a lot yet to prove, and some really tough games ahead of us.
Well, they have tough ones this Friday at South Dakota, and then on Sunday, the Jackrabbits at North Dakota State. The Coyotes and the Bison just played each other in Vermilion on Friday, and USD comes away with a convincing upset in this one. Sammy Vilwalk with back-to-back goals late in the first half. Parker Ritz with 5 saves, and she gets the shutout in goal for the Coyotes. North Dakota State had not given up a goal in its 3 Summit League wins, but they give up 4 in this one. Their only league loss so far. USD bumps off the Bison 4-0. Players of the week in women's soccer, Hatcher at South Dakota State. She had a 6-point weekend, had the goal against Western Illinois, and then a goal and 2 assists against Oral Roberts. Hatcher is 8th in the nation right now with 8 assists on the season. Haley Shelton at Omaha on defense. The senior keeper from Kansas City has been honored twice already this season. 2 wins for Shelton, including a shutout, and she makes 11 saves in the 2 wins over Oral Roberts and Fort Wayne. Volleyball coming up next. South Dakota is just silly good right now. They are top 5 in the country in winning percentage. The Big Red Machine keeps rolling, but they did get a scare from Fort Wayne. We'll show you that one next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn.
Welcome back. The South Dakota volleyball team was supposed to be rebuilding this year after losing some heavy hitters from a season ago, but the Coyotes are 17-3 right now. They did lose on Tuesday night at home to Iowa State, but that 17 wins is the second most in the country right now. The Coyotes are 6-0 in the Summit League, although somebody finally won a set against them, and that was Fort Wayne in Vermilion on Saturday. The Dons win the first two sets of the match, actually, the first two sets that South Dakota has lost against the Summit League team this year. But USD rallies to win the third set 26-24 on a kill by Audrey Rieg. South Dakota pulls out the fourth set 25-22, and then all the way back in the fifth set, Coyotes take that one 15-8. And USD stays perfect in the league with a 3-2 win over Fort Wayne. Brittany Jessen of South Dakota, 53 assists, 28 digs in that match, and she is one of the players of the week again. 100 assists and 43 digs in 2 matches for Jessen, and she is still the league leader in assists per set right now, and it's not even close. Good week as well for Kayla Principato at Denver. Gets kill number 500 in her career in a win over Western Illinois on Friday. She hit 524 in that match, 576 in 2 Pioneer wins for Principato. Denver is 4-1 in the league right now, and she leads that team in kills. And Shelby Cox at Oral Roberts hit 500 in 2 matches as Oral Roberts beat Western Illinois and South Dakota State. Cox with 10 kills against Western and a match-high 12 against South Dakota State. And Oral Roberts, by the way, a 5-set win at home against Denver on Tuesday night. Shelby Cox with 11 kills in that match. Meanwhile, perennial power IUPUI is hanging out right in the middle of the standings right now. The Jags are 3-3 after a win at Omaha on Saturday. 3 service aces in the match for Elizabeth Scott. 37 assists for Alexis Mapes. 15 kills for Corey Walbrecht, one of the league leaders. And this one was close in all 3 sets, but the Jags win them all 25-23, 25-22, and 25-22. Men's soccer coming up next. Denver rising again in the national rankings. The Pioneers achieved their highest rating ever this week. Welcome back now to men's soccer and a few more steps up the national ranking ladder this week for Denver. The Pioneers are number 5 in the national coaches poll that comes out every Tuesday. You got Maryland, Notre Dame, Clemson, Louisville, and then Denver. And this is the highest ranking ever for Denver. And this does not even include the Pioneers' 1-0 win over number 9 rated Butler on Monday night in Indianapolis. A.J. Fuller of Denver is he's a defender, but he scored his first career goal, and it was the winner in that match against IUPUI during the week for Denver. Fuller and the Denver defense back on another long scoreless streak. They have not allowed a goal in their last 3 matches. And again, Fuller scored his first career goal last week as well. That was the game winner against IUPUI. Fazlo Alihajic and Joseph Giddis at Omaha earned Player of the Week honors too. Alihajic with the game winner against Eastern Illinois. That was his 6th goal of the season. He is tied for the league lead in points right now with 16 in 12 matches. And Giddis, the Omaha keeper, gets the shutout against Eastern Illinois. That is 8 shutouts for Giddis, and that is a new school record at Omaha. Here are Giddis and Alihajic in action in that win over Eastern Illinois with the commentary from Mavs All Access.
Welcome into Caniglia Field for the Omaha men's soccer team match against the Eastern Illinois Panthers. And it's taken away by the Mavericks. I believe that was Ibisevic. The pass to Moulton. Moulton driving inside toward the box. Able to get around the defender and a diving, sprawling stop by Mike Novotny. Rendered ready. Here's the throw. Sort of land in the penalty box. Be deflected back by the Mavericks. They have it. And a shot in. Goal for the Mavericks. Novotny went up for that one. He couldn't.
Great individual skill.
Ibisevic back toward the center. Bowman now into the penalty box with it to Hamzit. Hamzit around the defender. A shot in. Goal Mavericks.
Well, up next, Hoops is coming. We have a peek at the programs in Brookings and Macomb. Men's basketball previews from South Dakota State and Western Illinois when we come back. Well, Summit League basketball teams have been practicing for almost 2 weeks already. The season starts for both the men and the women on November 11th. And we take a look at the men's programs at South Dakota State and Western Illinois this week. Here's Tyler Merriam with a report on the Jackrabbits, and then Scott Kornberg with the Leathernecks.
Being a great community, great people are supportive is awesome. And then you come here and work every day, it's a dream come true. We have a chance to work with great players, great people, guys who want to get better, a culture that wants to win. And for me, this is everything I could ever want in a situation for myself and my family, but also professionally. Absolute dream come true.
Otzelberger says his first priority after becoming head coach was to build trust with the returning Jacks.
I wanted to make sure that I really spent time with them, that I really invested in each of them individually, got to learn about them, learn about their families, what brought them here. Why do they have such a great sense of pride for Jackrabbit basketball? And you make that investment, you spend that time with the players, you see how important, you see how special this place is. You build those relationships. And then from there, what we need to do is evaluate the strengths of our basketball team and who are some other players who might be able to bring in to help complement this group.
One of those is 6'7" A.J. Hess, an Arizona native and graduate transfer from Southern Utah, where he started 63 games in 3 seasons, shooting better than 40% from deep.
Yeah, A.J. Hess, from day one that he's gotten here, he's really taken a major step. He played primarily at the 4 position at Southern Utah. We've asked him to play on the perimeter as a guard. He's stepped up, he's embraced the challenge. He's really worked on his body, getting in great shape. Unbelievable shooter, unbelievable character, guys. He's going to be a guy who's going to be one of the better players in this conference, not only on our team, but in this conference.
Milwaukee native Chris Howell is another transfer expected to make an immediate impact. The 6'5" sophomore guard averaged 12 points and 7 rebounds at Butler Community College 2 years ago, but missed all of last season with an injury.
Unbelievable energy guy, versatile, plays a lot of different positions. Unique game, he can get to the basket, make plays for people, be a lockdown defender. Those 2 guys have been phenomenal. We've also got Michael Orris comes in, gives another point guard, guy who's got leadership skills, guy who can step in and run a team, who's got experience from places he's been.
Something new this year is the squad has 2 designated captains. One is 6'7" junior guard Reed Tellinghusen, who has buried 118 threes in his first 2 years. The other is sophomore post Mike Dom. The 6'9" Nebraskan was a freshman All-American last year, averaging 15 points and 6 rebounds, while establishing a new program record for points by a freshman.
They've been unbelievable leaders for our team. They've been tremendous on a daily basis, extreme, not only bought in to what they need to do, but bought in from a leadership standpoint. They bought in from day one. They've had my back. I hope they feel that I've had theirs. They've been tremendous. So regardless of what happens on the basketball court, it starts with the team commitment, the unity. Those guys embody that.
There's only been a handful of practices thus far, but Otzelberger likes what he's seen.
The effort is what we've really tried to emphasize. Bringing an elite effort every day to practice, a commitment to trying to do everything we're asking our guys to do, be their best when we need them to be their best. And I feel like we haven't taken a drill for granted. I feel like we haven't taken a possession for granted. I feel like our guys have a championship mentality, understand that everything we do out here needs to be with maximum effort, and really excited that they brought that this first week of practice.
Hey everybody, I'm the voice of the Leathernecks, Scott Kornberg, joined with Leathernecks head basketball coach Billy Wright. Coach Wright, first day of practice for your guys today. Obviously a very, very exciting day across college basketball. But first this summer, can you talk a little bit about your players, how everybody developed this summer?
Well, it's a great opportunity for our rookies. I call them rookies. We have 2 freshmen and 2 junior college transfers who were able to be a part of our 8-week summer program. So we were really fortunate that the guys were able to, 13 scholarship players were able to be here for 8 weeks, getting bigger, stronger, faster in the weight room, and also academic achievement was a big part of it. So and some time on the court with the coaches. So it's a great rule that NCAA implemented, and we take full advantage of it.
It's obviously an exciting time and a really interesting time, I'm sure, as a head coach to find out even more about your guys. What are your expectations for the first 2 weeks of practice leading up to the season?
Just consistency with the effort, the enthusiasm, and execute at both ends of the floor. That's all we can ask for right now, is to make sure that we're going as hard as we can go as long as we can go without making as many mistakes.
You've got a really interesting schedule this year. This is Leatherneck's head basketball coach, Billy Wright. You open up at Kansas State, you've got Miami of Ohio, and then of course you've got American University, Summit League play. So there's a lot of really exciting non-conference opponents, and before you get into what should be another really, really good conference slate. Can you talk about the schedule and even your expectations for that?
Well, it's all about how you play, not so much as who you play.
Haven't heard that one in a while.
But we just try to focus on who we are, these first few weeks, to try to get better at what we do. But with regards to the schedule, we definitely want to make sure we had a competitive and a challenging schedule to prepare us for conference play, and I thought we were able to do that.
The guys coming back this year, really, really strong group, especially of guards. Garrett Covington, Jabari Sandiford, two guys who all conference caliber players. You've got Brandon Gilbeck coming back in the middle, who really showed strides at the end of his freshman year. Can you talk about some of these returners and what you might see from them this season?
Yeah, we just definitely want the consistency, and with the three seniors, Garrett, Jabari, and Mike, just the leadership. They've played the most minutes, they have the most experience. It's their senior year, so really looking forward for them leading this group.
4 newcomers, you mentioned 2 guys from junior college, 2 newcomers as true freshmen. What might Leatherneck fans expect to see from those 4 guys this year?
Well, I think they're going to come in, and they've already bought into our all-in philosophy this summer. That's a big part of it. For whether you're a junior college transfer or you're a freshman, you definitely have to, buy in and accept our culture, and they've done a great job with that. And I told them just, focus on fitting in versus standing out. And they've done a great job the first 8 weeks of the summer and the first 6 weeks in the fall workouts of just trying to fit in and learn what we do from both ends of the floor.
This is Western Illinois head men's basketball coach Billy Wright. Last question for you, Coach Wright. We talked about the newcomers. You've also got 2 more newcomers on your staff as assistants this year. Can you talk about those guys, their backgrounds, and how they might help you coach this Western Illinois basketball team?
Yeah, Coach Justin Anderson was at Quincy last year. Done a great job over there. He's from DeKalb. Really worked his way up from the junior college ranks, and then obviously had great success over at Quincy, and is just doing a great job just learning the all-in culture, the all-in philosophy, and a big part of his deal is getting out and recruit, as well as Coach Jones. Josh Jones done a great job over in Missouri, had a great career at Eastern Kentucky, did a really good job transitioning into working with our guards this summer, and it was kind of a quick turnaround for us as a staff, but those guys are all-in guys, and they're kid-first guys, so they do a great job with our mentoring piece as well, so just really looking for them to get some more recruits and help us win.
Really exciting time. First day of practice here at Western Illinois and around the country. Head coach Billy Wright, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, up next, a swimmer, a diver, and a tennis player walk into a nursing lab at Western Illinois. And that program is no joke. How 3 athletes in Macomb deal with the demands of sports and study in one of the toughest of college majors.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn.
Welcome back. Athletes get a little grief sometimes if their academic workload is a little less than strenuous, but you cannot say a word other than wow when you are talking about the great nursing programs in a lot of our Summit League schools. Here is how 3 athletes at Western Illinois handle sports and a demanding nursing major.
The nursing program is really demanding. It's a lot of work with homework and just studying in general. But since I've been an athlete for most of my life, I learned how to have good time management skills early on. So it's a little easier for me now. So I know when to break for practice, and then I know that I'll need to eat while I do my homework, and I can't procrastinate and put things off because I have school and sports to do first.
Well, I'd have to say my favorite thing about the nursing program is how helpful everyone is in it. My professors are extremely helpful. And then the girls that I'm in it with, we push each other all the time. So we hold each other accountable, and we're always teaching and quizzing each other, so pushing each other to be the best that we can be.
So a normal day in the nursing program, Monday would be wake up at 5:30, go to practice from 5:50 to 6:50. I have class from 8 until noon, and then a lunch break, and then I have class from 1 to 4. I typically have practice from 4 to 6, and then I'll go home, eat dinner, homework, and then go to sleep. Tuesdays is pretty much the same, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we have clinicals, so it differs each week. Wednesdays I have clinical from 2 to 10 in Quincy, Thursdays is 6 to 4, and then Fridays is 6 to 4, and those are both in Canton, Illinois. at Graham Hospital. So that's a normal day in the life of a nursing program and an athlete. My professors are very lenient when it comes to me being a student athlete. They're very understanding when I have to go to practice if I have to leave class early. They're very understanding when I have to change an exam around if I have a competition or something I have to go to. And then if I am very stressed, they will offer me to come into their office to get extra help in case I'm very tired from practice or a competition or something. So that really helps out a lot.
I think the biggest thing is obviously just my schedule. So when they're sleeping in before class, I'm usually doing weights or I'm in the pool. And then when they have time to take a nap, I am usually at the pool doing practice. So I just have to find time to fit in both sleeping and studying and doing my homework and everything. So I have a little bit of less free time, so I just need to learn how to manage my time different than normal students would.
Well, what I'd have to say separates me from other student athletes who aren't nursing majors would be how much time I have to put into my program, not only in class but outside of class, because outside of class we're required to give at least 2 hours a week in the lab to practice. And then also online we have these math modules that are self-taught, so we have to spend at least 2 hours per module. And like for example, this week I have 3 modules I have to complete, so that's 6 hours. And then with the practicing in the lab, that adds up to equal about 8. So it's just a lot of time outside of class.
I definitely think my favorite thing in the nursing program is the hands-on work at clinical, because you get one-on-one time with the patient and you get to do everything that a nurse does under the care. And you're just working under a nurse or your professor. So that's probably my favorite thing, because you get a lot of reward from helping patients get better and seeing their progress throughout the week that you get to go to clinical.
Okay, if I was to give some advice to someone who was scared or contemplating the nursing program as a student athlete, I just had to say anyone can do it. It's possible, but you have to have a good work ethic. And you have to know that you've got to go 100% in all the time. You've got to give it your all, especially for the tests. You can't just procrastinate and wait for the night before. You've got to study a whole week in advance. You've got to give 100% all the time. You can't come in and give 50% and expect it to work out. It's not going to work out that way. So work hard. It's going to be stressful, but in the end, it will definitely be worth it.
Well, the swim and dive teams at Western Illinois have a duel at St. Louis coming up next weekend. And our thanks to Patrick and everybody at Western Illinois for that story. Volleyball coming up this weekend. Fort Wayne and Omaha and Denver and IUPUI all at home on Friday night. Got women's soccer on Friday and Sunday. Men's soccer on Saturday. Omaha is at Fort Wayne. That should be really good. And we will check it out next week on Inside the Summit League.